We're about to get into 2023 and I am super ready.
I got no drip in my pocket. Must have forgot it, or maybe I already lost it.
I'm just ready for new beginnings, new me's, and I'm really not even the type of person to like new year, new me. But I do think that with the new year coming around, it's good to like, just set goals for yourself, reevaluate what you didn't like, what you did like the year before, and try to move differently in a new year. I think it's a good starting point, Start whenever feels right for you. But January 1st is great too. So hi everybody, my name is Jessica Miller. I am a mom of two. I have a daughter who's 2 years old and she'll be 3 in less than a month. And I have a 5-month-old son. And with the new year rolling around, I figured why not make a video about my goals and my New Year's resolutions. So that's what this video is going to be about. I am a mom of two. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So a lot of what I do revolves around being a mom. And that's like where my priority is right now. So I figured instead of sharing the typical goals, like I want to read more books and I want to get a face routine. Like, yeah, I want to do that, but let's be realistic. Like that's going to be at the bottom of my list because my priorities are just a little different for 2023. 2024, circle back, and those will probably be in my top goals list. But this year's gonna be centered really around like a combination of me and my children. So I thought that for fellow moms or fellow young moms, that this may be a helpful video for you. We're just interested to see, what other people's goals are. But before I get into what my actual goals are, I thought I'd share with you guys what I use to plan. So I plan 2 ways, on paper and on my iPad. Like no matter how much I try to get away from paper planning, there's just something about like grabbing a pen and writing. So for my journal, as of right now, I use the Passion Planner. I've been using this for like 2 or 3 years. This is my 2022 planner. I'm not gonna get into detail about like how I plan and everything, but it has like a good layout of Monday through Sunday, and it does time slots by 30 minutes from 6 a.m. all the way to 10:30 p.m., which I really like because it's like literally the whole day. If anything you do before 6 or after 10:30, like at that point you just don't even need to write it down. But yeah, so that gives you room for a to-do list on the bottom, space for however you want to plan. It's just I like the layout. And you can choose if you want to start on Monday or Sunday. I start them on Monday, but it's a good book. I like it. It's cute. And maybe another day I'll get into more depth on how I plan. But this is my planner. I need to get a new one for 2023. And then my second way that I plan, which is actually my favorite way of planning, is using my iPad. I downloaded an Etsy journal, and I'll put the link down below so you can see what planner I used to plan. It's really good. Like this is my favorite way of planning over the journal. This has everything the journal has plus more. And I think the reason why I really wanted to move to iPad journaling is for 2 reasons. One is because I hate that when I write something down in my journal, like once I write it, it's set. I can't erase it. I can't go back. I can't make a new list. I can't move a list without having to start from scratch. And the iPad allows me to like have errors, but still keep it clean and like nice looking. I don't go all out and do like stickers and coloring and all that stuff. I really just keep it simple. And most of my changes like my writing color, but I really appreciate being able to like edit it and fix mistakes. And then the second thing is that because it's electronic, it can go anywhere with me. I can view it on my iPad, or I can view it on my phone. So it's just like really integrated, and I like that about it also. So this is like my favorite thing. I have my iPad pencil, which allows me to write, which was extra. By the way, this does not come with an iPad. You have to buy it separately. I think it's like $100. But yeah, I use this, and I really like the one that I use because not only does it give you the option to do like your weekly planning or your daily planning or your monthly planning, it also has areas for like setting goals for the year. It has areas for like financial planning, working plan. Like it literally has everything you can think of, and it's clickable. So just like how a regular planner has like a tab to go to July, with same thing. You can click on the tab and it's gonna take you straight to July. It's really easy to like jump around and do, I don't know, it's like I really like planning on my iPad. So those are the 2 ways that I plan. And I'm not gonna lie, like this past year, I have not been planning that much because of having a newborn in July. It's just, when that happens, like just everything just, I don't know, just goes out of whack. So I thought I'd start off by saying like what my overall goal is. And like generally speaking, how I want to feel, like how I want 2023 to look is I want life to just feel easier, smoother, and richer for both myself and my children. And I also just want to have like a sense of order and achievement, because the last 6 months is just, you know, like when you're a new mom, you're really just winging it, and newborns, babies, they don't really have a rhythm. Like they eat when they eat, they sleep when they sleep, they just do what they want to do, and you're kind of like, you know, following their schedule, which I have no problem doing. But now that he's about to be 6 months, his pattern is a little bit more predictable. So I feel like I can move into a more like organized life, which gets into one of my goals. So one of my goals is to get back into a routine, form like a schedule, and be more organized. And with being a mom and doing YouTube, like all those things put together, I feel like I really need a sense of order. It just like feels like chaotic. Like when I edit, I literally edit like at any time. Like you're driving in the car, I'm on my phone editing. Like before bed, I'm on my phone editing. So I want to be able to have time set aside just for like work, and you know, and for play, so that I'm not like, you know, playing with my kid, but I'm on my phone trying to edit at the same time. Like I want to be able to give my children my full attention and then have specific time set aside. But when I don't have any order, it's kind of like I'm mixing everything all together, because I'm like, if I don't do it now, I don't know when I'm going to do it. Whereas if I have things planned out, then I know I don't need to worry about trying to squeeze in like 10 minutes of editing right now while Leia seems to be playing by herself, because I know that at nighttime I have X amount of time dedicated towards editing, so I won't be like concerned about it. So I really want to like try to figure out what works for me. But of course, now that I have 2 kids, I have to try to work my schedule into what both of them are doing. Like they don't, you know, Leia takes 1 nap, Mello takes several naps. But anyways, those are just some of the hurdles you face when you have 2 kids. So I'm going to try to figure that out. And whenever I do, I will like to make a video showing like how I make my day work with 2 kids and still trying to fit in like what works for me. But Leia does go to school, so that makes it easier in the day. But right now it's winter break and both of them are home all day long. And so even that, I'm like still trying to figure it out. So that was the goal number 1, get more organized, find a routine, get some order. And, you know, I just want to say, like, I think it's important too to give yourself grace when you have kids, because young kids, especially, because they're not, like I said, they're not in a routine, they're not in a pattern. They're like figuring this whole thing out. And so are you as a mom. And I think like for that whole first year, honestly, it's important to just be like, hey, if I don't achieve every single thing, it's okay. This is literally like such a small time in life. I lived 30 years before this. I'm gonna have many more years after this. Like when you look in the grand scheme of things, it's just one small year that you have a setback. But you know, I think to just throw in little things that help you achieve your goal is nice and fulfilling as a mom. Okay, so my second goal, and these goals are like in no particular order, by the way. I just like jot down whatever came to my mind. But my second thing is I want to start rotating Leia's toys again. So it sounds like a small goal, like, okay, rotate their toys. And before I even get into that, let me say what rotating toys is. So I believe rotating toys stems from Montessori, but basically it's like when you have a set of toys. Let's say I put out 10 toys that Leia has that I think that she's interested in, and I know she'll want to play with for this week, these 2 weeks, this month, however long you want to have them set out for. And they'll play with that, and then you kind of watch what they're interested in, and what they're interested in you keep. But then let's say I'm on like a 2-week schedule. At 2 weeks, I'll say, okay, let me take out these 4 things. Leia's not really playing with that anymore, so let's bring out some new toys. And what that does is it keeps them like stimulated in what they're doing. It allows them to focus in on what's there, versus when they have like a billion toys, it's like they don't know where to start, where to finish, pieces get mixed up, all that kind of stuff. So it really helps them like focus. It just makes them easier for them to make decisions, to pick, and really like indulge in their activities. So that's one reason why I want to do it. And then the second reason I want to do it is also because I feel like it makes the most out of what they have. It results in less clutter, which is one of my greater goals, to not have all this clutter and stuff, because when they have the toys of little pieces and 10,000, it just gets all over the place. It'll also help Leia develop a sense of order, because she'll know, okay, I just have these set of toys out. This is where they belong. This is how I put them back, all that kind of stuff. So I think it'd be really good for Leia also. So in the theme of Leia playing organization, my third goal is to try to keep their toys in the playroom. So let me explain. I don't intend on actually not allowing any toys to come out the playroom. I think that that's really unrealistic. But as of right now, I have toys in her playroom. I have toys in the living room. I have toys in the man cave, just so that like wherever she is, she can play. But now that she's a little older, I think what I want to do is move some of the toys from those areas and just keep them all in the playroom. And then we will either designate time to play in the playroom or bring out toys. But you know, I'm not gonna have her bring out like a bucket of toys, but I'll probably just, you know, whatever she's interested in, if she wants to come out and bring it, she can bring it, and then when she's done, we put it back in the playroom. But that way it'll have less clutter and mess in the actual living room itself. Because it gets so overwhelming, and it's hard to like pick up after her because I have Mello, my younger baby. And if you have a toddler, you know the mess goes from like 0 to 100. It takes them literally 2 seconds to just destroy everything. So I'm trying to figure out a way to like manage that, because it's much harder for me to clean up after her now that I have 2 kids. So I think that would be a easy way. And like, you know, this is not something that I'm gonna be like super strict on, like, oh my God, you have a toy out here. Absolutely not. I don't really care, but I'm just gonna keep all the toys in there. And I also moved my playroom downstairs so that's actually achievable. Okay, so my goal number 4 is to get back into Montessori activities with Leia and to also be more intentional about our time. And I think if you're a stay-at-home mom with your kids all day long, both of your kids especially, or however many you have, I think this is really helpful. But yeah, I want to be, before I had Mello, I was very good about being extremely intentional with Leia. I did a lot of Montessori activities. We did a lot of one-on-one things. And of course, naturally, like with having another child, I'm just realistically, like, I'm not going to be able to do that in the same way. But I do think I'm at a point where I can go back to like kind of like intertwine some of those things that I used to do before I had Mello. And I noticed that like she really needs that, because lately, like, let's say like now we're on holiday break, like when she's home, it's like she's just aimlessly doing whatever. It's like she just doesn't know what to do with herself. And so I feel like if I can get back into being intentional and setting a routine with her and doing these Montessori activities, that it'll really help her. And Montessori is rooted in like a lot of independence, like being able to wash your hands by yourself or do things by yourself. Which, if you know you got a toddler, once again, like 2 to 3 years old, like that, they really want to try to do. They think they can do everything. And a lot of times they're capable of doing more than what we give them credit for. So I want to really get back into that. I think it will help the days that we're home be easier. I think it'll help us bond more as well, because she'll have that one-on-one time. She'll feel included. Because of course, when you have a sibling, like, things change. So I really want to like bring that back into focus, because Leia did really good adjusting, but I do feel like she has some hard moments every now and then. Sometimes I can't tell. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. Like, I don't know what's making you upset. So, but anyways, I just feel like if we be more intentional, and we'll get in like a better rhythm and groove, and she'll also, being adjusted to being a sister, will also just be like better in general. I just feel like I really lost that, and I miss it so much. And then even like as a second time mom with Mello, I do activities with him and Montessori and all that kind of stuff, but I don't do it as like heavy as I did it with Leia. Like obviously Leia was all I had to focus on, so I was like in it. I just knew every step of the way, like what I was gonna do. Whereas with Mello, some of it just off memory. So, but I'm just like, I'm winging it more this time, basically. So, but I want to just be more intentional, which is why I can't have more kids. I can't keep doing this every time. It's just a lot. I put so much intention in them, so to just keep with every kid is just. Goal number 5 is I want to try to be more patient with Leia sometimes and not yell at her. And mind you, I'm really patient. Like, I am a very patient person when it comes to my kids. I think I might be even more patient than I realize. But Leia will take me there. She is, she's 2. Terrible twos. They don't like to call it terrible twos sometimes, but they have their moments. And sometimes it'll really push me over the edge, and I find myself getting really frustrated, and I will yell sometimes. And no one's perfect, and I don't think I will ever get to a 0 yelling point. Like, you get upset, you get frustrated, and I think you got to be okay with that and like, it's fine. But I'm always trying to like reevaluate, why did I get so upset? Or not even why did I get so upset? Why is Leia behaving in that manner? How can I correct it? What can I do to resolve the problem differently versus yelling? How can I prevent the problem from even happening? Like every single time I get upset, I always try to like reflect on it and see what could I have done differently. Because I also feel like me yelling is showing you the wrong way of how to respond when you're upset. Because now if you yell, like, well, I just model that behavior for you. So like, what am I really doing here? So yeah, I just want to try to get better at that. And like I said, I'm sure I'll get upset and I'm sure it'll happen, but I just want to work at being better at that. Okay, so my next goal is with Mello. So he's about to turn 6 months and he is super interested in food. Like, why are you so hungry? So he's really interested in food. Like he's always trying to reach if I'm eating something or look at it, or you just see his like mouth moving and he starts to lick like he wants the food to go in his mouth. So I've started giving him little things here and there. But like in general, I just want to start cooking more again. I stopped cooking pretty much like almost at all, other than like breakfast. Well, since I had Mello, we've been like having meal plans come to the house. My mom helps me with meals sometimes too. But I wanted to start cooking more in general. I want to get back in the groove of that, especially because cooking at home is the healthiest. And I really want to start making purees. When I had Leia, I told myself about all the stuff. I had like a recipe book, everything. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do purees. I think I made a puree like one time. I instead bought the pouches and the glass jar stuff, which was really good. And like, if it doesn't work out this year, that I'm just gonna go right back to that. But I really do want to try doing purees. I think it's fun, and then like not only that, like it's healthier. I remember last year or 2 years ago, they came out with this whole recall big thing about the pouches. So just to like avoid anything, I would prefer to make the purees. So I'm gonna try to do that. And this time around, I have my my little like puree cookbook thing. I had one when I had Leia from the registry, but because I was moving from city to city, I didn't actually have it with me in my house. So I didn't have anything to go off of, and I had to like research online. I don't know, I was just like over it. So this year I'm gonna really try to do it. And if I do, I really wanna share with you guys like how I do it and what recipes I come up with or try or like or Mello likes, like, stuff like that. I just think it'd be fun. So I just want to get better at like cooking and making food at home from scratch for Mello and Leia too. So my next goal is I want to do more for me, like in general. I just want to, like, after having kids, having kids will teach you so much about yourself. And after having kids, I just realized how much little things just make me feel better about myself. Like whether it be dressing up, whether it be staying informed, whether it be doing my hair and my nails, like, everything from like the small little bitty things, the vain things, to the educational things. It just truly like makes you realize what you miss or what you value. And I want to be able to I want to slowly work in those things next year. And this is something I'm not going to put much pressure on myself for, because that will also stress me out and give me anxiety. But I'm hoping that with meeting my goals of being more organized, I'll be able to squeeze in the things that make me feel good. And then not only that, like as they get older, things become easier as far as me time, because they're not as reliant on you or dependent on you naturally. Like the moment they start walking, I'm like, that's my go time. So, but I just really want to get back into that. One thing I can't wait to do is I literally want to get everything out of my closet, throw it away, and just start a whole new wardrobe. Like I start getting little pieces here and there, but every time I go in my closet, I'm like, why do I have all this clothes and feel like I can't wear anything? That's the problem. So I'm starting fresh. But I'm gonna do that later in the year, not now. I wanna just need go time. And I wanna start working out again. I just really wanna hello, I'm here. I wanna be back and feel like myself. So, but that's a goal that I'll probably work on more later in the year. But I just think it's so important because you can easily lose yourself when you have kids. And once again, give yourself grace. But at some point, you gotta get back into yourself, or else you're just gonna be, not feeling good. So, yeah. Another big goal that I have for this year that I need to achieve before the end of the year is I want to create a long-term investment fund for my kids. This is something that I've been wanting to do, but I just haven't actually initiated the process. But I think it's really good if you can to start some type of savings fund for them. That way, when they get 18 or they become an adult, they have money that they can tap into for whatever dreams they may have, whether it be buying a home, starting a business, going to school. I just think it's something that's really good for them to have. And there's so many ways you can do it. I know that there's a lot of custodial accounts, whether it be for stocks, Roth IRA, different type of investment accounts. There's also college funds that's specific to college credits. There's just a lot of different ways, bonds. So I'm gonna look more in depth and then make a decision on what I actually wanna do to invest for their future. But the younger, the better. And I mean, right now, things are on a down, which is a good time to start. Because see, a year ago, 2 years ago, when everything was at a high during the pandemic, that was not the greatest time. We didn't know it was a high, but clearly it's a high. So I'm glad actually that I didn't start back then. So I intend on looking now, and hopefully because things are at a low, they'll rise and continue to rise by the time that they reach adulthood. So yeah, I really need to get that started this year. But yeah, those are my goals for 2023, at least as far as when it pertains to motherhood and what I want to achieve in general. Some of them are really specific, some of them more vague, but they're all things that I just really want to do. I hope that if anything, you were able to find one goal, or if it just motivates you to set goals for 2023, I do think it's a good thing to do. And I think writing down your goals, really just sitting there and reflecting on what's important to you, really helps to meet your needs. And don't just set big goals. You have to also break it down to how you're going to achieve those goals. So you can say, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, great, cool, me too. But how are you going to get there? So I just think, it's important to write it down, break it down, and manifest. Look at me talking about manifest. I don't manifest. But I do want to start, I want to try it out. I don't know. They say write it down, write it like it happens, something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it. Anyways, I'm rambling. Happy New Year. I hope everyone has a good 2023. And if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, comment. Please comment. Guys, comment. No one comments. People barely comment on YouTube pages, but I understand because I didn't used to always comment. I never commented actually until I became a YouTuber. I'm let me get these people's comments because it really means a lot when people comment. I feel like I'm talking to nobody sometimes when no one writes anything under my YouTube videos. I want to engage. That's what keeps you going, what keeps you motivated. I'd be sad when no one commented on my video. Oh, okay. Happy New Year, guys. And I'll catch you in my next video.